welcome to Queer Games Tech here for today, where we play through little indie LGBT games. Today we're doing It Started With Hairs. I'm intrigued by the title. I don't know much about these games going in, so if you don't like surprise content, look away. It started with hairs. It never hurt, it didn't feel good, but it felt correct. I'd plucked them absent-mindedly. Later I understood. Unthinkingly, all day, it was intentional. The hairs shouldn't have been there in the first place. On my chin, mine. My lip, mine. My eyebrows, mine. My scalp, mine. My body, mine. What right did the hairs have to be there? Mine. My facial hair was always patchy. People wondered if that bothered me. It did. They wanted me to have more. I wanted none. Shaving was not satisfying.
Now arriving at cocktail.
The root always remained, hiding underneath the skin, cowardly. I'd scrape, drag, rip, tear. This was insufficient, but this was better. Then, one day, I shaved, closer. It started with hairs. One was too many. Next was the skin. Oh wow. I realized hairs were not my only enemy, so I shaved closer, so close, not even the hair's roots could escape. One was too many. That never hurt. There was blood, sure. I thought there was pain. For a moment, but I saw how effective this was, and the false pain was gone. False pain. False pain, that's a great concept. It didn't feel good, it didn't feel bad. I shaved away all the skin, bit by bit. This was a chore, a routine, a rote action. I had plenty of practice shaving. This was just closer. But this felt better. I never cared for my skin anyway. I could take or leave it. Skin was acceptable collateral. The results spoke for themselves. One was too many. It started with hairs. One was too many. Next was the skin. Leave it. That left messy, exposed flesh. Ooh. Having no skin was neater overall, cleaner. But there was still a mess. Drip. On a human, skin protects more than their hair. Drip. Skin contains the flesh, keeps them safe, and keeps a person whole. And blood. Drop. With my skin shed, the exposed flesh sought escape. And blood. I'd never wondered whether or not I wanted my flesh, my blood. That stuff was trapped against me, held hostage by my skin. This is a very queer game. This whole concept of what are we? Who are we? My blood ran, my flesh hung, my blood, and I took pity on both. Luckily, everything came off quite easy, wasn't clean. I could tell my flesh wanted out too. My blood, came free. My flesh had never wanted this. My blood, I wondered if my flesh ever thought about whether they wanted me, or if my blood had ever been asked. I didn't ask. I wouldn't care what my body wanted. It was mine. I would discard them regardless until I was free, clear, and content. I wanted none. The last shreds of them dropped off with ease, and nothing remained. But that wasn't enough yet. It started with hairs. One was too many. Next was the skin. Leave it. That was messy, exposed flesh. Then the naked, unsightly bone. Oh, I see, right. I've missed the cadence on that. My apologies. I always thought bone should be the real thing. Spotless, blood-stained. Smooth, muddy. And clean, coarse. Maybe other people's bones looked pristine. Mine do. Like they should. And I've just been saddled with these things. Thinking about that too much made my skinless self itch. I was suddenly disturbed to know, retroactively, this was hiding all along, inside me. I scratched the bone with my fingers. Just bones. Bones on bone, bone on bones. Better than bone being inflicted upon me. Removing the bones was more complicated. I had 206 to remove in total. One by one. One by one by one. One by one by one. It started with hairs. One was too many. Next was the skin. Leave it. That left messy, exposed flesh and blood. Then the naked, unsightly bone. One by one. And lastly, the frail nerves. Ooh. Oh, that's not too bad. The nerves were so bare, tiny and lonely, I almost forgot they felt nothing themselves. That they themselves felt nothing. They communicate pain, convey. To me, to my brain. They never had to feel this themselves. They felt nothing. They just sent a barrage of sensations to besiege me, relentless. I just tuned them out, the pain, focusing on other things. It didn't feel good. And disregarding their insistence, it felt correct. But why bother? Why continue? Nothing remained to keep me from ripping these nerves out, severing the parasitic connection and being done with it. What did they gain? Free. So I did. Pulled the entirety of that god-awful parasitic waste of space out from the root so there was nothing at all left. It started with hairs, one was too many. And next was the skin, leave it. That left messy, exposed flesh and blood. Then the naked, unsightly bone, one by one. And lastly, the frail nerves, parasites. That left just the brain, me. I wanted none. Ooh. Well, I think we're done. Alright, what?
Now arriving at Aspenberg.
What a cute little game that was. Damn. I mean, that went deep, and like figuratively and literally. I mean, I'm gonna say it was a trans game, for sure, but I think, like, there's a real human experience to that. Like, everybody, everybody, I think, has that weird relationship with their body sometimes. Alright, well, thank you here for joining me. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Also, I'm on a train, so I can't get too deep into it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.